Hello, and welcome to this week's weekly knit chit chat. If you're new around here, hello, welcome. I am Jessica, the knitting pattern designer behind Snickerdoodle Knits and the design mentor facilitator inside of the pattern design circle. And I like to host every week a call, a live chat here where we talk about knitting, we talk about life. So hello and welcome to those who are joining live. I hope you are having a beautiful week. Several weeks ago, I talked about how I've decided to start saying that to have a beautiful week instead of a wonderful or a good week. And that is because beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and we can choose to find beauty even when things aren't amazing and going swimmingly. And so yes, I hope you're finding the beauty in this week. This is our first time actually going live at our new time, I think. This is if you're watching the replay. Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. A few weeks ago we changed the time, and since then I went live once, like the week that we changed it, but it was super quick. And then last week I was live with Megan at this time, so I didn't have the weekly knit chit chat. So now we're back to our new schedule, I guess. Or on to our new schedule. Something like that. Hello and welcome to the folks hopping on. I'm so excited to see you here. How are you doing? How's your week been? Waiting for company to arrive, but happy to catch the beginning. Wonderful. I hope you have a wonderful time with your company, or maybe I should say a beautiful time. I'm not sure how much you just caught of that, Marie-Lise, but I was just talking about why I now, sign off and tell the folks to have a beautiful week instead of a wonderful week or a great week, because we can choose to find the beauty. Yes, so anyway, there's been a lot happening. A lot of time passing. It's been like 3 weeks. Let's see, it's been 2 weeks since the last time I did a knit chit chat. That was a short one. It was only like 15 minutes long. So it's been 3 weeks since I did a full knit chit chat. But yeah, if you're here live, go ahead and let me know in the comments how your week's been. Do you have 3 words to describe your week? If you're watching the replay, I also still love to hear from you, so feel free to put it in the comments too. I haven't even thought of my 3 words. Chaotic, busy, productive. There's 3 words. So if you've been around here for a while, you know that I've been working to not work so much. It's been going fairly well. I'm still doing quite well with my weekends. But this week especially, I have been working a lot more in the evenings. And a lot of that's because of In Tandem stuff. In Tandem's a project that I started talking about it almost a year ago, but we really started working on it a lot in February, where it's several of us designers putting together a zine. Anyway, so we're at the point where I am creating a bunch of the standards, like abbreviations and style guides and pattern templates and all of that stuff, and I have to get it done ASAP. So that's what I've been working on mostly this week. In Tandem also has made it interesting to be doing this whole working to not work so much, because it takes more than 50% of my time, work time. And so then that means I don't have nearly as much time as I'm used to. Not only am I cutting back the hours that I'm working, but the now smaller number of hours is half In Tandem stuff. So I'm trying to figure out how to get a better balance there. I do think that once we have all these documents put together and stuff, it hopefully will calm down a little bit so I can actually feel like I'm working on business stuff. Hello, welcome, thanks for joining. Maria Elise said if you just hopped on, feel free to share 3 words to share what your week's been like, or feel free to write a whole story if you'd like. Either way, I'll read both. Maria Elise said hot, busy, and happy. It has been hot in a lot of places. We were like up in the hundreds for a while. We're Fahrenheit, I'm in the US. But it's been back down in the 90s, I think. It's still plenty warm, especially when you actually go outside and do stuff outside. But hasn't been the shocker that it has been in some places. We have inside of the design circle, and inside of In Tandem, some designers from the UK. The UK has been so hot. Maybe Marie Elise can tell me this. What is 40 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? I should have looked it up. This morning we had Natalie Warner, who is the designer, teacher, author behind Natalie and Stitches, and she was talking about how hot it's been there. She is also in the UK, and she was talking about, okay, so this probably proves that I don't pay attention to news very much. My news is usually Instagram, which is terrible, I know, but she was talking about how, like, railroads are typically designed for up to 30 degrees Celsius, and it's been up in 40 degrees Celsius, 104. Okay. Yeah, warm. Thank you. So yeah, she was saying, like, the railroads, at least over there, I don't know about over here, probably not over here because I'm not familiar with that kind of an issue, but she was saying that the railroads are designed for 0 to 30 degrees Celsius, and on either extreme beyond that, there's issues. And so now it's been 40 degrees, which is 104. Thank you, Marie Elise. I've got my Google here. 104 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 degrees Celsius, when it's only been made for 30 degrees Celsius, which is 86 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's a lot hotter, like almost 20 degrees Fahrenheit hotter. And they're having issues with, like, the railroads, like the rails, like, buckling and melting, and oh my goodness. And then she was talking about how so many folks over there, it's not so normal for them to have air conditioning, which I suppose if the railroads are constructed to be up to 30 degrees Celsius, 86 degrees Fahrenheit, they're not used to it being extremely hot. So anyway, wow. I'm very thankful for my air conditioning. Even though it is typically set at a temperature cooler than I would choose, it's better than being hot, right? And having nothing you can do about it. Yeah, so totally, you're not alone, Marie Elise, I guess is where I was going with that. What else had you said? You'd said busy and happy, so that's good. Hopefully good, busy. I know you've had company and family and all of that, so yeah, let's see. Basically, today has been a very busy, chaotic day, so I just grabbed a bunch of stuff, and I don't know what all has happened in the last 3 weeks, but I do know on the short version that I had done 2 weeks ago of the live knit chit chat, I know I was talking about these, I think I had just finished this one. So if you're new around here, this is the In a Mood scarf, and you can you can choose any of the stitches that you see here. You can knit any of them for as long as you want. You can skip as many as you want. You can make the whole thing as long as you want. It's worked in the round as a tube and then seamed together at the end using Kitchener stitch. Yeah, so I chose to do 3 loops. One is this garter rib inside out. One is this simple lace, and which I don't know if I'm supposed to share this or not, but I'm pretty sure I accidentally modified the lace for this pattern. I think it's supposed to be a 4-row repeat, and I made it a 6-row repeat, so it looks different than the other In the Mood patterns. But, you know, it works. And then the other section that I made is the drop stitches with garter. And then I used garter between each of the sections. But, yeah, it's totally a choose your own adventure style shenanigans going on. And then this is the cowl, which I have not shown. I've shown in my stories, but I have not shown the full finished version. Same idea, same stitches, except for I think I got the lace right on this one. Like it's the one actually from the Stitch Dictionary. And actually I started down here. So the idea was I had 2 skeins of DK weight yarn from this yarn dyer. This is Hand Dyed Diva, a local yarn dyer to me. They used to also have a brick and mortar called Cheers to You. They still own the business, but they are building a new location that won't open until next year. So anyway, that's Hand Dyed Diva. I had the 2 skeins, 1 skein of this color, 1 skein of this color, and I thought I was going to make both a cowl and a scarf with the same ball of yarn, but I didn't do any of the math. And you might remember from my last real knit chit chat, I realized that I probably didn't have enough yarn of this color to make a full cowl. So at that time I had in my bag a golden yellow that I thought would look good. I still think it would look really nice with this greeny color. But I have been working to use colors that are more aligned with what I love, and bright yellow, even though I like it in other settings, it's not something that I'm going to wear. So I pulled from my stash this color that I just bought from Cheers to You when they were doing their closeout sale from closing their brick and mortar. And this is a Madeline Tosh. It's a one-of-a-kind color. But I really love that, actually. This is such a pretty color. It's like deep navy, deep green, almost a purplish tint to some of the blue, but it's very dark, so it like looks like a tonal or something from a distance, but it's got a lot of character to it. I don't know. I think you can kind of see there. It's not nearly that bright, but that shows a bit more of the color. Anyway, so I ended up using almost a whole skein of this. It's funny because I don't have a huge stash. I'm not used to just going to my stash and grabbing some yarn for a project randomly. I'm usually very intentional about, okay, I'm going to use this yarn for this project. And so I had purchased, I think I got 4 skeins of Madeline Tosh, 2 of another color and 2 of this color, maybe 5 skeins in total. No, it was 5 skeins in total. And the idea was going to be that I was going to make a cardigan or something with it, pullover. And now I had fun stash diving, but now I have 4 skeins left, and I don't know if it's gonna be enough for a project. So, I don't know, does that mean that I've officially, like, entered the real yarn world? Oh, man. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. I'm really happy with it. And it's the same idea, like I said, of just knitting which stitches you want, for however long you want. And obviously you can change colors whenever you want to. Whether that's because your yarn runs out or because you want to. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, so the pattern, this one is written, I just don't have photos in it yet. And I don't know if I've even started writing this one yet on the computer. It said I was paused. I don't know if you caught that or not. But anyway, they still have not made it to my tech editor yet. So eventually they will make it to my tech editor. Eventually they will make it into test knitting. And then eventually they will be published. I guess this whole project has been a whole lot of unusual scenarios for me. I typically have deadlines I put on myself for my patterns, and so I'm not used to just being like, oh, it doesn't matter when it gets done. But it actually has been really nice because I got into such a knitting mood the last couple weeks where just a lot going on and taking some time for self-care, and I really was enjoying the knitting. So I got the knitting done, and the patterns will be done in some time. Really, I just have to get the in tandem standards documents done, and then I can really focus on that and get that done. So that is the knitting. I worked a few rows, well, 2 rows, I think, on this when I was talking to Megan last week, and have not made any more progress. So it continues to be a slow work in progress, primarily worked on while chatting with you. And it's beautiful as well. I really love it. Oh, okay, so I was going to say, if you didn't watch our chat last week, or if you're not familiar with the fact that I have Featured Designers of the Month, I did have a wonderful time chatting with Megan Nodecker of Pippin Pin. Last Thursday, we chatted all about what she does, what she has done in the past. She's done a lot of different things, under a Pippin pen, and yeah, I don't even remember what all we talked about, but it was so much fun. She is very cheerful person to talk to, or what I'm really getting at. She giggled a lot, I giggled a lot, I had a lot of fun. And it sounded like other folks really enjoy it too. So, yeah, so on the Featured Designer chats, we talk about their design process kind of stuff, how they got into designing. They share some of their designs, but then I also try to ask a bit more about their life beyond designing. And so, like, Megan really enjoys outdoorsy stuff and things like that. Yeah, is there anything else about that? For those of you that were there, if you recommend it, feel free to share what you enjoyed from that. But I think that's all I have to say about that. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to say. Okay, so a few weeks ago, I went rambly about, I started yawning, and I'm going to talk about it, and now I'm going to start yawning. And I don't have my water here. Anyway, started talking about how about 30 minutes into my lives, I always start struggling with yawning, and I decided that I blamed these lights, because I have these studio lights for my Instagram lives, because otherwise it's the dark corner, and it's like the only corner of my house that's got room to set up lights and stuff, and yeah, okay. Anyway, my excuse was I was saying that I start yawning, I'm blaming it on the lights. Like the lights are just too bright or something. But I noticed that in my chat with Megan, I never got to the point where I started yawning. So I don't know if that theory does that invalidate my theory? Maybe I really am just so boring that I put myself to sleep. It also could be that I'm so used to having my brain so activated all day that like the lull, I don't know. Maybe it's also just having my mouth running. This is why I shouldn't just talk to a camera. It's because we both giggled so much. Yes, that was so fun. Oh yeah. The time always flies when I'm talking to designers. Just so fun. But it also flew last week too. And I realized every time I think I say we could probably keep talking on for several hours, and it's true every time. So I'm not just saying it because I want them to feel good or I want whatever. But anyway, yeah. Okay. So I will stop rambling for a second. A couple of other things that I brought. I had some books just in my shopping cart online for a while, and I was placing another order, so I just bought them. I haven't even had time to stop and really look at them, but I think it's gonna be backwards for you. But this is like an ice cream dessert. Looks like there's also macarons. Recipe book that Cannone, I think that's her Instagram handle, Cannone, recommended. And so she does a lot of different things, but she has also done like baking. I don't know that she owned like a brick and mortar bakery, but she bakes for people and like gets orders and things like that. So she knows what she's doing when it comes to baking. And she recommended this, so I got it. And here's a beautiful meringue. Yeah, it looks like there's definitely more than just ice cream. It's maybe supposed to be like stuff that you can eat with ice cream as well. Like there's some different cobblers and things in here. There's so many amazing looking ice creams as well. Which, on that tangent, I seem to be handling dairy better. You probably don't know this, but several years ago I started having stomach issues from dairy, and then a little over a year ago, well actually over a year and a half ago now, I started having acid reflux issues, and I didn't get figured out for 6 months if that's what it was actually part of what was happening. So anyway, I've been off of a bunch of different foods for a while, and it seems like, my theory anyway, is that like my gut got itself sorted out, and now I can handle a little bit of dairy anyway. So this is a berry crisp ice cream. So maybe I'll just sit here and make us all hungry. You okay with that? I got a heart? Yeah? Okay, perfect. Here's another pie. Anyway, I'm definitely a sweets kind of person. I love desserts. There's a bunch of frozen yogurts in here. Yeah, anyway, so this is right up my alley. If I could only eat dessert for every meal, I would definitely do that. I enjoy baking much more than I enjoy cooking. I have been doing better this week though. I've actually started cooking some meals again. So with all of the food issues and stuff, we got in the habit where we kind of just made our own meals. And I'm trying to get better about making meals for both of us again, and on a schedule and pre-planned and all of that stuff, and it works a lot better. For me, it just, takes a little more time. So, I have been enjoying it. So this book is called Jeni's Splendid Ice Creams at Home by Jeni Britton Bauer. If now I've tempted you to need it as well. I'm guessing these macarons are filled with ice cream. That's what it looks like. That's why it's in this book. Okay, the other book, which I actually really haven't even looked into what it's about, is How Are You Really by Jenna Kutcher. I've been following Jenna since like the time when I first started my business. She's fairly well-known business coach, specifically in things like Pinterest and Instagram. Actually, I think she's against Instagram for Pinterest. Anyway, I haven't really paid that much attention to her stuff content-wise for quite a while, but I did know she was writing a book, and I really enjoyed that book that I read that Jolie had written. This seemed like it might be along the same kind of lines. So How Are You Really? Living Your Truth One Answer at a Time. I just opened it to look a tiny bit at the pages, but I really haven't looked into what it's about or anything like that. But yes. So that was an acquisition, I guess, as the podcasters say. Yes, Marie-Lise had said yum while I was showing ice cream. The other thing that I brought over here was some of the magazines that I showed a while ago, several months ago, because I had bought them for In Tandem research, and that research has been happening this week, so I've been having fun going through all of the different magazines and seeing how they do things. And so it's just been fun, obviously seeing the designs a bit more. So I thought it might be fun to go ahead and show some of those. So this book is Interpretations by Joji Locatelli and Veera Valimaki. Joji is probably my favorite designer. I always say she's my favorite, but I don't know if you're supposed to choose favorites. I really like her style, and from her journal and stuff, I really enjoy her personality and stuff. So anyway, this is Joji wearing one of her designs. This is a cardigan, and this is Veera wearing, I think this is one of Joji's, is that? I obviously haven't actually read this well enough yet. This might actually be Veera's. So what they do for their interpretations books, they take a theme and they choose different words, and then they each design for the word. So it looks like this was the theme light. Veera designed this shawl, and Joji designed this cardigan. So anyway, I think I really admire their relationship as designers and friends, and just like working together business wise and all of that. Here is, love the look of this book. Me too, it's so pretty. So this is the word beyond, and this is Joji's design, a shawl. And this is Veera's pullover. It's got a fun, I really love like the different colors and stuff, which is funny because now this next word that I see is called natural, and they both used a gray color. But of course we all know that I love my grays, so I'm not against that. I also think that their schematics are fun. I don't necessarily love the way that they put their measurements on it, but they've got this fun like watercolor kind of look to the schematics. The book is called Interpretations. This one is volume 7, which I might be able to tell you when it was published. I think they've already have another one that, oh yeah, this was from 2020. So they had one that they published in 2021. They typically come out in the fall. So, but this is the first one I've ever purchased. I don't think I had ever purchased a knitting magazine like this before I bought them for in tandem research. I had bought some when I was younger, a couple books that had like techniques and patterns in them. I got them from, what was the name of the store? Border? I don't know. Anyway, on the clearance section. But here is Wild. This is a pullover, it looks like, and a shawl. Anyway, so it's been a fun part of putting together the monotonous standards. It's just leafing through these and noticing the designs and the sketches and all of the different things. So that was one that I've been really loving. I basically just like obsess over everything Hohi does, so there's that too. But the other one I've really kind of been loving is Pom Pom, particularly because of their schematics. They're just like fun but functional and easy to read, and maybe this isn't that exciting to folks that aren't working on putting together standards, but I don't know, they're like cute but practical, and I'm liking them. This is actually another Hohi Locatelli design. It's on the front cover as well. This is also from 2020. These are older books just from my local yarn shop. But yeah, this is that design. Let's see what else is in here. There was a crochet shawl. Anyway, this one where it was fun. Let me see if I can get a full picture. Maybe it's probably at the front of the book. This one with the fun little specks, stripe thingamabobs. I bet there's a bigger picture in the front here. And if you ever want to talk about things that you love and hate about magazines, feel free to share, because it's been really fascinating to go through these and be like, I do not like the way they do that, or I really love the way they do that. I was just thinking specifically about the fact that some of these publications, they just have a whole bunch of photos with descriptions of the design at the front, and then the patterns are back here. And I find that I like to have my photos dispersed so that like the photos are all with the pattern and it's easy to find the pattern. Anyway, yes, that picture, and then there's several more pictures here. Just looks like so cozy and fun. Anyway, I don't know that I have anything specific I wanted to share from the others. This one's by Hand Cereal. I got a few different copies of theirs. They have a lot of different things in their book. There's only a few knitting patterns. There's a couple, 1 or 2 sewing patterns. Sometimes there's another craft. And then it's a lot of just like information about the area, dyers in the area. So each issue is focused on a specific location, and then they make it all about that. This is really pretty. Flowers. So this location was Rhode Island. But you can see there's not a whole lot of knit and crochet patterns. There's a few right there. another one there. But anyway, Making Stories is another one that I have, which something I've been loving about theirs is how easy it lays open. This is just going to be turned into me reviewing magazines today. And something that Hannah Lisa had mentioned to me before is the fact that they do a flat thing, so that if you want to save a page, it makes it easy to do that. They also have a ruler in here, so if you wanted to use it to measure gauge or something, you could do that. Anyway, let me see if there were any. Here's kind of a fun design. A shawl with different colors down at the bottom. And some baubles, it looks like. Let's see here. This is a really pretty cabled cardigan. Okay, I have a question for you. Do you prefer cardigans or do you prefer pullovers? Because that's been my dilemma in what I want to make for myself. Obviously, I'm working on a cardigan, but I feel like a pullover would work up faster. But I don't know. So, like, in real life, what I grab for every day, I have one cardigan that I grab quite a lot. That I actually like the way that it fits and the weight of the fabric. It is not knit. It is, well, it's probably a knit fabric, but it's not like yarn. It's threads. And then I have several sweatshirts that I like to wear. And so I keep struggling to decide which I would prefer to have. I guess I just need to have both, right? Do you tend to use more of your pullovers or your cardigans when you're knitting them? Here's a picture of that shawl. So really it's basically a blanket with a hut here, which actually that's kind of a good idea. I love the look of that. And what I'm thinking is you could work that in the round and then steek it, which is actually what I was trying to do for a 3/4 shawl once. I don't know if you remember me working on that. I was doing color work on a shawl, and so I decided maybe I would work it in the round and then steek it. I never got farther than my swatches. So what the 3/4 shawl is, it's like, I don't know if you can tell, there's 4 triangles here. The 3/4 has 3 of the 4 triangles. So it has 1, 2, 3 triangles, and it's missing this one. This one has all 4 triangles, and it just leaves a slit between 2. And I'm guessing that this is worked flat. Let me see, do they give us information? But I'm thinking it could be fun to actually work that in the round and then just steek it and do an edging. Not necessarily specifically for that design, but just in general as a shawl construction. Yeah, it's worked flat. So, if you wanted to have an idea for maybe Marie Elise, are you going to get into shawls? So, fun idea. Okay, my last magazine here, since I can't stop now, is Lina, a very popular magazine, well known in our industry. I found it really interesting, just some of the ways that they present things that I'm not a fan of. And I think it's just like proves that there's like not a right or wrong way to do things. It doesn't mean that my preference is wrong. It doesn't mean that their way to do things is wrong. Obviously there are lots of people that love what they put out there, but there's some things where I'm like, I don't know if I'd actually want to work from this. Personal preference. Let's see, let's find the pictures. Well, and of course we could also get into the whole conversation of ads in your magazine. Do you like that? Do you like learning about new companies, or does that drive you crazy? Here's a pretty cardigan. I keep trying to not cover up my face while I'm talking because I know that some folks really depend on lip reading. So that's why I'm trying to awkwardly leave space around my mouth. This one looks super cozy. Loomy. That cowl neck. Also, spoiler, I don't know if Natalie shared this online. She showed us a pullover design that she has coming out this fall. Oh, I love it. It looks so cozy. I would like for somebody just knit that one for me so I can wear it. You can do it in gray and in navy and like a dark purple. That'd be perfect. Thank you. Not sure what this is about, but there's some pretzels. Picture of pretzels here. I don't know if they have a pretzel recipe. Let's see here. I was trying to find actual pictures for you. Whoops, I just bumped that. I'm sorry. Looks like they have a fair few recipes as well. I wasn't hanging out in this part of the magazine so much because all the patterns are in the back. Some pretty yarn. Who's the yarn dyer? Oh, it's for Valborg, of course. Okay. Yes, yarn here. Petra of Fru Valborg in Sweden was one of the first dyers that I kind of got really excited about when I discovered the online knitting community. I love her colors, and so as an early designer I had said it was like my dream to have a collaboration with her. Have you seen like the challenges that go around? There's like Me Made May and Maker March and just different Instagram challenges where you like post about a specific thing every day. And so one of them was like something about dream something or other. So I had posted about that. And she had said, oh yes, let's do something. And she sent me some gorgeous yak silk yarn. Merino yak? Yeah, I don't remember. For a shawl, and I still haven't gotten the shawl to work out. It's been like a year and a half since I got the yarn. Anyway, so it was fun when I picked up this magazine and I realized that she was actually featured in it. And so of course it makes sense that I find yarn that I think looks beautiful and it's hers. Okay, here's another cardigan. Oh, that texture. Oh, it just looks so cozy. So Natalie, now I'm paying attention to all of these sleeves and shaping and stuff. Our discussion with Natalie today inside of the design circle was about designing raglan sleeves. And so we talked a lot about how to get a raglan sleeve to actually fit and work well with the human body. So anyway, just the sleeves, really the sleeve cap area over the shoulder is where there tends to be issues. I really love this color too. This like teal-y color. So anyway, that was, oh, this is one by Rachel. Showing a couple of this, it looks like a cardigan. Might be a pullover. Let's see here. Oh yeah, it's a pullover. So it says that it is designed by Rachel Brockman, who is actually a local to me designer. I have not ever met her, but she works for Universal Yarn, local to me, and she designs for them, and then she also designs for several different publications. So it's been fun. Now that I know that she's a local designer and have had a little bit of contact with her just on Instagram, noticing her name in different places and stuff like that. So yeah. Okay. We only have less than 15 minutes left. Hello, welcome to those who have been joining while I've been rambling. Karen said yak silk is one of her favorites. Yeah, it's so beautiful. I think part of the problem is that I wanted to create a very specific stitch motif, to create like a sort of flower motif that I had drawn out. And I wanted to use feather and fan upside down for it. The issue is that feather and fan can't be flipped upside down, and I don't want to work it bottom up. I started a sample and I don't like it at all. So the issue is this was supposed to be a shawl using that very specific stitch motif, and I want it to be something really special when I'm done with it. Just the yarn, the collaboration, I love the colors, and so I don't want to like sacrifice, like I don't want to be just like settle for something because it works. I want to really love it, to be proud of it, and so it keeps getting pushed to the side. I really wonder if I maybe should give up the shawl idea. I don't know what it should be instead. Karen, what are your favorite things to make with yak silk? Do you especially like it for things, there I am yawning. Do you especially like it for like cowls, or I wonder, like, I don't have enough for a cardigan or a pullover, which is the issue. Yeah, Marie Lee said sweater. I think that's what I'm really wanting to make for myself. Although I did just fine knitting up these samples. I don't know if I should use sweaters. Okay. I'm kind of wondering, should I just get some other yarn to go with it? A cowl then? And the thing is, with a cowl, I could work the motif upside down and it would just be sideways, or, you work it bottom up. I mean, I typically work my cowls bottom up. But then I have 3 skeins. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I should do the math. Maria Lee said yes. Is that yes for getting other yarn to go with it? Intertwined shawl was in yak silk. Maybe I should I need to look at how much yarn I actually have and look at how much yarn would be required. Maybe like a short sleeve tee. The problem with that is my arms are always cold. I was thinking the other day, I need to design things with removable sleeves. So like in the summer, I can go outside and not look like I've lost my mind because I'm wearing long sleeves. But then when I'm inside, I can have my sleeves on. So it made me think of like, there's the outdoorsy pants that like you can zip off the shorts. I want that for my sleeves. I don't know if that's a zipper or button, but I think that's what I need to figure out how to do. Intertwine, upside down stitch in the cowl. Okay. Maybe I'll do that. What I was starting to say with that is that then I'm gonna have extra yarn left over, and then I'm gonna have to make something else too. Short sleeved cardigan. half sleeve or 3/4 sleeves. Yeah, I really like 3/4 sleeves actually. But now I'm gonna have a one-track mind. I want to figure out how much yarn I have, how much yarn I could, yeah. How much yarn I would have to have for a cardigan or a pullover. Because sometimes I'm surprised. Love the idea of short sleeves cardi. Maybe that's going to be what it is. I can sometimes be surprised by how little yarn my size uses for a pullover when I'm used to, like, I make shawls that are like 3 or 4 skein, and it's fingering weight. It was before I like went into my DK weight stage. Okay, so these are the issues I started to list with this design. A, was the stitch wasn't working. B, I kind of started to fall out of love with shawls for different reasons. Like, I don't wear them a whole lot around here, and are starting to get boring maybe. Like, I've done a lot of shawls, but it still is like every new design idea I have is for a shawl. Like, that's just how I know how to deal with stitches, I think, as far as dealing with stitch motif ideas. And then it was right at the time where I was deciding that I wanted to go into, I really want to only knit with DK, and so now it's a fingering weight project. 3 skeins of fingering is great for tees, 3/4 sleeves sweater, or short sleeves cardigan. Okay, that's might be what it's gonna be. That's actually exciting. And my other design that has been on the back burner was the one that I had mentioned. That's the 3/4 shape that I had tried to work in the round. I think I figured out maybe I should try to work that with mosaic knitting. So maybe I now have solutions for both of my sad abandoned designs that are both beautiful yarn, and I feel so bad for the dyers that they got abandoned. Karen had said Pinkington cardigan is short sleeves, great for the summer, and can be worn over a long sleeve top. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at some things. we might have, 2 years from now, a cardigan coming out. I do have the yarn that I'm using from Camp Fiber Yarns is going to be a pullover, and I'm making 2 samples so that I can show like different lengths of sleeves and of the body. And actually that might be a fun idea. Okay, so then also I'm designing a pullover for In Tandem. So I have 2 pullover designs currently on my list of things to do. And those actually have deadlines. And so the cardigan idea will have to happen after that. And my designing has slowed down a lot over the last year or so, as I've been focusing a lot more on mentoring designers, helping designers, the design circle, all that kind of stuff. So I was actually thinking the other day that, like, I'm just trying to figure out like what the right balance is. I'm wondering if I should do like 2 months of really focusing on pattern design circle stuff, mentoring stuff, coaching stuff, and 1 month of designing, because I really do well, like, I get into something and I just want to do lots of it. So it was like I was working on this and then I just wanted to keep knitting, and so I did this like in no time. And so like if I had a whole month that like was really dedicated to designing, I could get a bit of designing done, and it wouldn't feel like it just takes forever to get anything done anymore. The other thing I was starting to say when I said that was an idea, I was talking about the different, I'm doing 2 different samples of my Camp Fiber Yarns pullover, because I have this thing where I like to have multiple samples to show different options. And so maybe it could be fun if I did the yak silk in like as the short sleeve cardigan, and then I got another yarn, different kind of yarn, like different content, and did a long sleeve version. That might be a thing. Oh man, this is fun. Thanks so much for playing with my ideas with me, Karen and Marie Elise. You two are the only other ones on live right now. It's been a lot of fun. I can't believe that we actually went a whole hour and I filled all of the time. I still don't really know what all happened the last 3 weeks. But yes, this is so fun. I am definitely going to do my research on short sleeve cardigan yarn yardages. I almost feel like I might actually have 4 skeins of that yarn, in which case it really wouldn't be that big of a deal. I think for this cardigan, my size, I think I only have 3 skeins of yarn, which is where I'm like, it's so silly. I used to design all of these 3 and 4 skein, 3 skein fingering weight shawls, and then it's like, feels like a pullover is this big project, but then it actually isn't that much more yarn than what I'm used to working with. So yak silk is slightly heavier than other yarn. Okay, that's good to know. That's exciting because I like heavier yarn. But if I do decide to do a second sample, I'll keep that in mind. Also, yeah, just as far as writing the pattern stuff, gauge and things like that. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I now need to make all of these notes for myself so I don't forget. Let's see. Words of wisdom and motivation, inspiration to leave you with. Oh. Okay, but you probably both already saw this, but for anybody else watching, I think this week, sometime I posted on my profile, something to the effect of, not every experience is going to be sunshine, but you can find the sunshine in every experience. And it's something I've been loving. There's hard things, there's rough things that we go through, but there's always little bright things that we can find and see, whether that's our yarn and our knitting, whether it's our friends online, or other little things like ice cream, cookies, things like that. But when we do look for the sunshine, we start to see it more and more. If you focus more on the sunshine than the clouds, your day is a lot brighter. So that's my little piece of motivation. And as always, I'll just leave you with, remember that you are on your own journey. So make sure you take control of it and you really enjoy the life that you're living. Sending so much love and big hugs. Lots of yarny wishes to you. Hope you have a beautiful week, and thank you so much for joining me again. I'll see you next week. Thanks again. I'll talk to you later.